This is the farthest we have ever made it. I think it's a loss. Come on, trees. Let's go. Ravine. One of, if not the hardest map in BTD6. There are 4 exits to guard, and round 7 is only possible if you pop a certain balloon with the sword. I'm on a mission to black border every map, and this one has been on my list for quite some time, so let's try to beat it. Round 6, we need to place 3 dart monkeys in very specific spots in order to pop every balloon. One in the bottom left set to strong, one in the top middle set to last, and one in the bottom set to first. This lets the top dart monkey snipe several balloons this round, starting with a green and finishing the round with some blues. And the bottom left dart is barely able to keep up with everything on his side as he popped a red balloon that was basically off the screen. This gives us enough money to upgrade our bottom dart to a 0-1-0, giving it extra attack speed, which is just enough to pop all but 1 balloon on round 7. And if we tap the sword up top 24 times, it'll fling out of the rock and fly to the strongest balloon on screen, dealing up to 3 damage. We use this to pop the final 2 layers of a green balloon, and our monkeys could handle the rest of the round. What's funny is Chimps is impossible without this little Easter egg, so I'm glad they added it. Before starting round 8, we got another dart monkey on the left side and set this guy to strong as well. This lets us pop all the blues and greens that come this round with no issue at all. Then we plop down a dart monkey in the bottom right and set him to strong. This guy is placed just right to hit 2 balloons with several of his attacks this round and lets us move on. And now it's time for our final dart monkey of the run, right below the first one we placed, and we're keeping him on first. It's always funny to start a game off with this many dart monkeys, but it beats the early rounds and is enough to let us save up for Obin. We got him down in the middle of round 13 and placed him in a very specific spot that saves room for a druid later on. But here he can see 3 of the 4 tracks and helps out a ton with every round. Next, we upgraded our first dart monkey to have extra attack speed and then got a sniper up top. We set him to strong and used brambles for round 15 as we need all the help we can get for this tough round. We got a pretty good bramble spot, making the round look easy, but we got a bit lucky. From here, we went back to upgrading our dart monkey, making it a 0-3-0 triple shot going into round 18. This makes greens and yellows super easy to deal with on the left side, even if they're in bunches like at the end of this round. Continuing on, we kept spamming brambles and upgraded our sniper to a 1-0-0 FMJ. This lets it pop 4 layers of a balloon instead of 2 and gives it lead popping power that we'll need in the future. And now we get to use that space we left next to Obin by getting a druid right next to him. This guy will be very important in a bit, so it's nice to see we left enough space for him. Funny enough though, we're not upgrading him just yet. Nope, we're getting a wizard in the trees. It'd make more sense getting a druid here since they love nature and all, but this is an amazing spot for an arcane spike, which we'll be getting later. We made this wizard a 1-0-0 so he could see over the bridge, and then gave our sniper night vision goggles so he could pop the camo on round 24. With this problem out of the way, we went back to our wizard and slowly made it a 3-0-0, getting that 3rd upgrade after beating round 28. This lets each bolt deal extra damage, have more pierce, and gives the wizard more range. A win-win-win. Then the easy crosspath was making it a 3-0-2 so he can see camos and get more range to be able to help out with the left track a little better. But now it's time to save money. The next several rounds are absolutely free with this setup, so we kept pressing play and popping all the balloons until we beat round 35. Here, we bought a discount village and made the druid a 2-0-1. This lightning attack is crucial to round 36 as it can wrap around the bridge and damage the pinks on both tracks. I didn't know it could jump that far, but boy am I happy it can, as we wouldn't have beaten the round without it. But I couldn't remember what to get next. Do we save our money for some round 40 defense, or do we need the jungle drums buff to beat the next couple rounds? I thought we'd be fine for round 40, so I bought the village upgrade and instantly I was happy. I doubt we would have beaten round 38 without it, and we have a little trick up our sleeves for the round 40 Moab. Under the discount village, we upgraded the druid to a 3-0-1, giving it a blowback tornado, and we got an AMD alchemist only in range of Obin. This makes his ability deal much more damage to the Moab, so we waited until Obin attacked so we could place his brambles on top of the blimp, and once the outer layer was popped, the druid pushed all the ceramics inside back to the entrance, giving the rest of our defenses enough time to pop them. From here, our plan was simple. Get a smart spikes where it can see 3 of the tracks and be discounted by the village, and once it was a 1-0-2, we saved up for arcane spike, getting it at the end of round 48, just in time for the fortified ceramics. Then we picked up several supporting towers, a spiked balls, a berserker brew, and we made a ball lightning druid on the left side of the map. And to wrap up with the bottom, we gave our arcane spike a berserker brew. It was kind of funny barely being able to see these guys in the trees, yet they were doing most of the work for our monkeys. This brought us to the mid 50s 50s, where it's about time to work on our late game defenses. We started this with a discount village up top and built a 013 Moab glue right next to it. Then we started making a 024 Moab press right next to our second dart monkey. I would have loved to have him by the round 60 BFB, but we were just over $1,000 away from the upgrade. Even without it though, the wizard and druid were able to pop the entire round before a single balloon even made it to Obin's wall of trees. But the next scary round was 63. I wasn't sure how we'd stack up against these ceramic rushes, but our druids countered them pretty well. The tornadoes blew a ton of ceramics back each time, and the ball lightning tore through each rush, to the point where we didn't even need a wall of trees for the biggest wave of ceramics at the end of the round. But this let us afford our 023 mortar monkey, which will be our main source of camo detection going forward, and we picked up jungle drums on our top village to help out with the Moabs on 64. And now we just need one more thing before starting our massive save up. A Berserker Brew Alchemist next to the Moab Press. Kind of an odd pickup, but we want that extra attack speed, and we'll be making it a Moab domination soon. Now, this is kind of a weird tower to carry such a difficult run, so I want to give a shout out to Dorio. He made a guide doing exactly this, and it inspired me. We watched and practiced the early and mid game in a previous stream, and this is us doing it from memory, so you should check out his channel. Now, $54,000 is a lot of money to save up for, especially on a map like Ravine, so I made sure to use wall of trees and brambles as much as I could and moved the mortar monkey back and forth with each round. At the start of the save up, the rounds were flying by, but quickly things got more and more difficult. The end of round 79 basically made it to the end of the track. Round 80 was terrifying as we didn't pop the Moab layers until they were across the bridge, and tons of balloons made it to Obin's trees, and we were still 20k away from his upgrade. I'd like to say the next few rounds were easier, but round 81 broke Obin's trees. 82 was terrifying with how many fortified Moabs went down the left track, and plenty of balloons hit our pineapples on the left side near the end of round 84. But during this scary time, we were finally able to afford the Moab domination, and he started putting the balloons in their place. Now, we just need some support monkeys and to remember to micro the mortar throughout the run, as our boomer doesn't have camo detection. Our first few upgrades after Moab Dom were getting the glue gunner to a 024 relentless glue, and we upgraded the top alchemist to a 420 stronger stim. Already, the Moab Dom was dumpstering the rounds, but these will make it even better. Round 90, the first DDTs came, and the signal flare was able to decamo them all. Even with this though, the Moab Dom didn't do that much, but our arcane spike and druids were able to pick up the slack. Luckily, the rest of the DDT rounds will be coming from the right side, where the boomer will be able to do a little more damage to them, like on round 93, where the Moab Dom was able to stall most of them pretty well, as none of the DDTs were close to leaking. But this round gave us enough money for an overclock. And if you didn't know, an overclocked Moab domination kind of wins you the game if you time the abilities right. This came just in time, as round 94 is a huge jump in RBE, but our boomer popped all of the blimps off screen, only letting a few ceramics through. Honestly, one of the easiest rounds so far. But now I wasn't sure what to get. I know we need a first strike for round 100, but I didn't know what else we could afford before that. So I got a sabotage ninja in range of a discount village and started round 95. Overclock came off cooldown in time for the DDTs, and our super attack speed boomer took out most of the round. Some blimps did manage to get down the right side, but they'd already taken damage and were easily picked up by our defenses near the back of the track. Round 96 was similar to 94 in that every blimp was popped off screen and we only had to deal with the super ceramics inside, but 97 was a nice change of pace. We didn't have to use any abilities to handle this one, which set us up great for the final few rounds. Instead, the Moab Dom brought these fortified ZOMGs down to just ceramics by the time our other defenses had to do anything, making for a very easy hold. For round 98, we started with an overclock and refreshed our wall of trees and watched the Moab domination do everything. It was crazy how well he kept up with the blimps, and we were even able to buy our first strike mid-round. Now, we could use overclock for 99, but that'd leave us really weak to the bad. So this is where our sabotage ninja comes in. Right as the round started, we slowed the balloons down with his ability and were able to pop most of the fortified DDTs, and those we didn't pop were easily taken out by Obin's trees. But now, the only thing between us and a Ravine black border is the round 100 bad. We overclocked the Moab domination, hit play, and used first strike right away. Unlike other strats, it's more important that we take out this outer layer as fast as possible rather than trying to one-shot the insides, and we did this by the end of the bridge. The 3 DDTs inside made it to Obin's wall, while the boomer took the ZOMGs down to super ceramics, and everything worked together to take out the rest. Plenty were eaten by the trees, several were blown back by the druid, and just about every tower did some damage to finish off the round. But just like that, we got the beautiful black border on Ravine. And if you want to see how we got #ouches black border, click this video right here.